This is the phone in, and it's 10 years since the scores on the doors first had to be displayed publicly, legally. So how low would you go? Does it matter to you? 03700 100 110. I said to Jared there, when we were talking to Jared about what he'd found, so I still think there's a bit of confusion about what's actually involved and what's required to get a top rating. So let's speak to Lisa Fearn, who owns a cookery school and a Sied Goffi in Carmarthen. Hello, Lisa.
Good morning.
Very good. I think you've had 5 stars since the off, have you?
I have, yes. Yes. So the cookery school has 5 stars and has been reviewed 2 or 3 times, and the Sied Goffi in Carmarthen's got 5. We had another Café which got a 5. So it makes it sound easy, but there is a lot involved.
Yeah, well, that's what we want to know. How do you get to 5?
Well, it's through adhering to, the strict sort of rules for food hygiene. We have files that we work out what our best practice is for sort of cleanliness and food hygiene training and recording. And then it's maintaining those standards and it's recording it. So it's not just turning up into a beautifully clean, sparkly kitchen and everything looks nice and sparkly and new. It's proving that you are monitoring the temperatures and the fridge temperatures, food temperatures, that you have a cleaning rota in place, that you have deep cleans, and there's quite a lot to do.
This is the dreaded paperwork then, is it? Because it seems that every time any business that I've been used to going to, or you see it in the paper or it comes up on social media, so and so has got 2-star rating, 1 star, and they say it was only the paper, it was the paperwork we failed on, and we're going to sort that out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of paperwork then, by the sound of it, Lisa.
If you do it on a regular basis and you put the process in place and you adhere to it, then it's not so bad. I mean, we know that when we get in the morning, as soon as you take your coat off, you put your overalls, your aprons, your kitchen clothes on. The next thing you do is go grab the file and go around the fridges, checking. Well, we have a walk-in fridge. We check the temperature of that. We also check the temperature of some of the food in it to make sure that the temperature gauge on the fridge itself is working. Wow. And then maybe on a weekly basis you check that the thermometers you use are calibrated, because obviously they could be faulty. So it's basically taking it back a step every time. So if I serve a sausage, more chances out of not I'll have checked to see that the core temperature has reached 75 degrees to make sure it's safe. People still send them back saying they're cold, but that's usually because they've been hanging around on their plate on their own table or whatever. So we know that when it leaves the kitchen, it's right.
So the point is, Lisa, when people say, it's only the paperwork. Actually, what one inspector said to me when I spoke to them about it on the radio at some point over the last 10 years was that actually the paperwork is the most important thing, because the inspection tells you what the premises is like on one day of the year. It's the paperwork that tells you what it's like on the other hand, the 364 days of the year. Is that the way you look at it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, when an environmental health officer walks in, it could be on your busiest day of the year. It could be on your quietest day of the year. It could be that you're overstaffed. It could be that you're understaffed. It could be that you're just having a disastrous day and you've just dropped a whole kettle load of soup on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Yes. You don't know. I mean, accidents happen. We have disasters, obviously, but it's how you cope with those disasters. And that's what you monitor. So say something unusual did happen. Let's say somebody drops a glass, which shouldn't actually be in the kitchen, but it is. And for whatever reason, it's dropped and it scatters, and everything, or any visible food in that kitchen has to be removed because you don't know where that glass has landed. And yes, that's awful. It's a disaster, but you have to record it. This happened. Don't pretend it didn't happen. It happened. And this is what we did about it. And therefore we are sure that everything leaving the kitchen afterwards is safe. It's not pretending that life is rosy and perfect. It's saying life is not perfect, but this is what we do in an emergency and a disaster.
So how low would you go? Not at your premises, obviously. Your businesses, you're getting 5. If you're eating out, how low do you go, Lisa?
I think I'd stick to 5, to be honest.
Really?
Yes, I think so. Unless I know exactly what's going on. I mean, you can get a good idea. I mean, you look at staff uniforms, look at the state of the place. Look, has it been cleaned and dusted? Are the mugs clean?
That's interesting that you wouldn't want to go lower than a 5, but is that because you know what's involved, and so you know what might be missing if it's only a 4 or a 3?
Yes, probably. These rules are only there to protect everybody. They protect us. They protect our customers. I would hate for somebody to come to us and go home and have, sickness and diarrhea, food poisoning. It would be a disaster. And the only way I can make sure I'm not on the premises, I've just left my cafe, but I know that the standards hopefully are being maintained because we have a system in place.
You better go and check.
That's the only way.
Lisa,
I'll check the paperwork when I get back.
Thank you very much. That's Lisa Fearn then in Carmarthen from Sied Goffi.